Imagine sitting in a movie theater in front of a young family, and a young child just keeps purposely kicking the back of your seat, and the parents just watch. Imagine going to a shopping mall, and a young teenager yelling at their parents for not buying them the latest fashion, and the parent just gives in to their will. Imagine an inquisitive young child asking why after being told to do something, and they get the age-old excuse, because I said so. There are many different ways to raise your children. Parents should exercise the authoritative parenting style over permissive and authoritarian because it improves communication between parent and child, instills self-discipline and competency and confidence, and because of this, it's considered one of the best parenting styles by the American Mental Health Association. Before we get into the authoritative parenting style, I feel we should discuss the result of bad parenting in general. Research during the Children in the Community study by Dr. Patricia Cohen and Judith Brooke, done in 1975, has shown that bad parenting could possibly result in personality disorders. Certain parental discipline methods have shown to cause personality disorders later in life. The old adage, spare the rod, spoil the child, comes to mind. Spanking can be interpreted as abuse by the children themselves and by Child Protective Services. It tends to harbor a sense of fear instead of respect. It also makes children think it's okay to physically hurt someone and could cause children to be more aggressive. It doesn't serve to correct the problem. One spanking doesn't make a child an angel. I myself was spanked, and numerous times. I think I turned out better because of it, but it didn't just take one spanking. It usually takes numerous spankings and the intensity, tools, and manner border on child abuse in some households. In dual-parent households, it possibly can lead to favoring one parent over the other, as one is viewed as the disciplinarian and the other as the loving, caring nurturer. Speaking of love and care, a lack of attention in parenting is also shown to have detrimental effects on children as they grow into adulthood. This could create an emotional void, whereas they are unable to connect with anyone emotionally or foster a low self-esteem and confidence. This could also possibly lead to them seeking out attention and affection in less than desirable places. Bad parenting can lead to bad adults, which in turn will raise their children the only way they know how. The authoritative style of parenting wants to end that cycle. To truly know the benefits that the authoritative style has, you must first compare it to its competition. There are three widely known parenting styles: the authoritarian, permissive, and the authoritative style. A very familiar style of parenting and the easiest is the authoritarian style of parenting. In this style, the parent is to be obeyed blindly. The parent is very demanding and doesn't express much affection. More emphasis is placed on punishment and discipline. This is, when questioned why, questions of why are met with because I said so, or because I'm your father, or because I'm your mother. Children aren't given choices or options and are forced to live by the limits set by the authoritarian parents. Possible results are low self-esteem, being overly aggressive, and shyness. Another parenting style is the permissive style. Parents practicing the permissive style of parenting prefer to be the friend over the parent. They tend to avoid conflict in favor of love and affection. The parents themselves end up feeling taken for granted while the child is spoiled and used to getting things their way. It is on the complete opposite end of the spectrum than the authoritarian parents. Lastly, the purpose of this speech is the authoritative approach. It is commonly regarded as the most difficult parenting style to master. The authoritative parent presents clear guidelines and boundaries, but helps the child to understand why these boundaries are in place. Affection is given to a point where even when they are upsetting the parent, the child still feels loved and cared for. Let's discuss the authoritative style in further detail by discussing the benefits. There are many benefits to the authoritative style of parenting. One is it improves communication between parent and child. In contrast to the authoritarian style, children aren't afraid to approach their parents with issues or questions and are encouraged to speak freely without fear of reprisal. In saying that, I don't want it to be confused with speaking on a friendship level, as would be allowed in a permissive style. Children are encouraged to question. There is a clear distinction between good and bad and parent and child, because children are allowed to make mistakes without harsh punishment and are taught consequences of their choices while still maintaining an open atmosphere. The authoritative style also instills self-discipline, competency, and confidence. By holding children accountable for their actions, instead of just issuing orders to follow blindly, or allowing them to do whatever they want with no consequence, helps them to have self-discipline. They can impose limits on themselves because they are aware of what is right and what is wrong and the reason behind the judgment. It promotes competency by instilling high levels of self-esteem and self-worth, which are the basic building blocks of confidence. According to the Mental Health Association, it is considered the best form of parenting because it produces very competent adults. In summary, exercising the authoritative parenting style provides a more well-adjusted child than the other styles and should be the style of choice when it comes to raising your children. Parenting is often the most difficult task any adult will ever face. How you produce future productive members of society should be researched and not treated lightly. Hopefully, my presentation will help you see the authoritative style of parenting as the right choice to make.